okay with going.
Good.
So what are the three most important factors in financing retail?
The three most important factors in financing retail are, number one, location. And everybody's going to laugh at that one because, yeah, everybody knows location, but we're going to get into detail. The quality of the tenant, and we'll get into more detail on that because it's another one that seems kind of obvious. And then lease details. Those are the three most important factors in financing retail. So it would be location, quality of tenant, and lease details. So let's start off with location. That's the one that everybody's saying, of course, location, that's the most important part of anything to do with real estate. The reason I talk about location is, let me just give you a little example. Let's say you're financing 120,000 square foot grocery anchored retail, and your grocery is 50% of the tenant space. So they're occupying 60,000 square feet of space. Now, you have a lot wrapped up in that supermarket. So let's say that there's a super Walmart that's being built 5 miles down the street. How do you think that's going to affect your grocery store that's anchoring your 120,000 square foot shopping center? Well, if you don't know, I guarantee you the lender's going to know. And they're going to be very, very interested to know what the business plan is for that grocer. How are they prepared to compete with Walmart, who happens to buy more groceries than any retailer? So that's what I mean about location. It's very important for a lender to understand what is going on, not only in your location, but the surrounding locations. What's going on? The next factor is quality of tenant. Now, this is another one that it's obvious to people. Well, you need good quality tenants. Well, what does that mean? So here's what that means. Let's say for that grocery store, you have a publicly traded company with a bond rating. So you have a whatever.
I died.
Well, mine is still going, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can continue. So let's say you have a giant supermarket which is publicly traded and it has a bond rating. That's a really good tenant. That's a really good tenant. Let's say you have some other smaller tenants that are franchise tenants. You have, in most cases, you have situations where it costs money to buy the franchise, it costs money to set up that store, and the franchisor is looking for financially secured owner-operators. So they're doing a lot of your legwork for you. You're getting quality tenants because they can afford to be one of the franchisees. Like, for example, Dunkin' Donuts. They're very good tenants. So one of the most important factors is quality of tenant, and there's more to say about that, but this is a brief explanation. So the last item would be lease details. This is probably, although we put it third, one of the real interesting factors that lenders look at. So how long is the lease? How many years remaining on the current lease term? How long have they been there? So if they've been there for 20 years, but their lease is going to expire next year, that's a pretty good track record. They probably are not going to leave. Are the tenants required to report sales? So you could have a lease expiring within a year, but they have really good sales, And you know that because they're reporting that, so why would they leave? Doesn't make a lot of sense. So by having a tenant report sales to you, it's a very important lease detail. Are they responsible for their pro rata share of CAM, which would be the repair and maintenance factor involved in a center, pro rata share of the increase in real estate taxes? Is there a management fee that you're getting from the tenants? So all these lease details are extremely important to a potential lender. When the lease started, how long has it been in place? Are there increases in subsequent lease option years? These are very important details that lenders are looking for when they're financing retail. There's a lot more to say on retail, which we'll talk about in future podcasts. All right, thank you. Good. How was I?
It's good.
Was it too long?